and the rest of the world. Welcome to Kairi FM's Major News. Here's your presenter.
Good evening and welcome to Kairi FM's Major News. Good evening and welcome to Kairi FM's Major News. I am your presenter, Idona John Baptist. Here are the headlines making the major news this evening. Social Welfare Division in urgent need of foster care parents. DPSU expects government to settle outstanding payments for all public servants by December. In the region, Guyana government announces salary increase for public servants. And internationally, PAHO launches digital health worker called PAHOLA to help risky drinkers decrease alcohol consumption. The details of the news right after the break.
Is your home, property, lifelong investment secured and protected to withstand a Category 5 hurricane? Are your windows and doors strong enough, durable, and tested? You experienced Maria. Why take chances? Do it now at Do It Center. We've got the answer. Remember this name, Domus U PVC Windows and Doors. Available now. They're flying off the shelves right now at Do It Center. Available in economical and high impact options. You can choose different sizes, customized sizes, 20-year warranty, tested, certified for impact, then retested and recertified for double impact. Domus UPVC high impact windows and doors secure your home this hurricane season. You need them before the storm comes because it wasn't raining when Noah started to build the ark. Visit our website at store.doitcenterdominica.com. So remember the name, Domus UPVC windows and doors, hurricane afraid that we.
This Christmas, unlock a new digital world with 45% off a new DL3 Plus Pro smartphone from Digicel. Get it now when you buy a 30-day 25GB Prime Jumbo bundle to enjoy all your favorite Digicel apps. The best smartphone with the best apps. Enjoy a 6.2-inch screen to watch more Christmas classics in Playgo. Dual 5-megapixel camera to capture more Christmas moments. And then store it all in Billo, from blockbuster movies and chop-chopping music to streaming live sports, video chats, and so much more. Get yourself a DL3 Plus Pro for $200 or gift it to someone you love. Visit a Digicel store today.
Do you listen to Kairi? Download the Kairi FM Android app on Google Play Store for 24/7 radio on the go. Visit our website at www.kairifm.com and stay connected with all your favorite programs. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram and never miss a beat on your genuine sound. Kairi FM.
Are you looking for good eggs? I mean quality fresh eggs straight from the farm? Well, we have exactly what you're looking for, no matter the quantity. We've got the right amount. Visit us at Prince City downstairs Kairi FM on Independence Street for your fresh farm eggs, or call telephone 448-7331, 448-7330 or 448-8752 and we'll get you your fresh farm eggs.
I'm not exaggerating, boiling with excitement.
Welcome back. We welcome our listeners on Variety Radio in Antigua and Flow TV channel 119 in St. Lucia. Topping the news, the Social Welfare Division urgently needs foster care parents willing to provide a better home for vulnerable children. Coordinator of the Child Abuse Prevention Unit, Gemma Azzy-Lewis, says among the reasons is that the pandemic has made it more difficult for parents to provide proper care to their biological children.
We continue to see challenges tracing family families right now, especially we are seeing quite a few parents being unable to meet the needs of their children, and so are requesting our intervention in finding alternate placement for them. There remains a need for the welfare division, especially for fostering children who are from the ages 7 and above.
Currently, there are 70 children who are in 65 homes through the foster care program.
We have been receiving persons signing up, applying to be foster parents. It has not been a great number of people applying. We would also like more people to apply. So far, persons have responded to the call, but we still continue to ask of the Dominican public that more persons apply to be foster parents, because there's a great need, not only for persons coming off from their homes and walking into the welfare division asking for help in placing children in alternate care, but we also have to remember that we also have a shelter, a place of safety where we put children, and these children are not there for long term. They are there just for a temporary time, and these children also have to either be placed in foster care or also in kinship care, meaning with some biological member.
That was coordinator of the Child Abuse Prevention Unit of the Social Welfare Division, Gemma Azil Lewis. The Rastafarian community says the Dread Act of November 1974 has caused youth to show less interest in agriculture. November 19th marks another anniversary since the passage of the Dread Act. On November 19, 1974, the then administration passed a law to eradicate dreads, chasing them down through the bushes of Dominica and cutting their locks. Some were shot and killed in what many deemed was done in an inhumane manner. Ras Bernard Imani Shaw of the House of Nyabingi says youth with dreadlocks were subjected to and intimidated by vicious acts of cruelty, harassment, brutality, discrimination, and imprisonment, perpetuated by the most brutal piece of legislation called the Unlawful, Prohibited, and Societies Act, commonly referred to as the Dread Act.
The Society of Dominica endured a cultural shock in the 1970s when youths, generally around Rosa the capital, revealed the appearance and identification of dreadlocks, opposing all facets of the system, whether religious, political, or economical, while advocating an African awareness of togetherness and unity. In this era, today I Rastafari of the House of Nyabingi, unashamed of that dark day in I history and life, I inspire to beam that light in the darkness and tell of the significance of I legacy in this troubled world. I now testify of these terrible misfortunes and tragedies which befall I as young people. I legacy is a revelation of a foundation of a resilient people connected to nature, the environment, and the universe, dependent on the very plant life for health, strength, and sustenance, which is why I am known and recognized as herbal and ital people. I identity with African liberation and the usage of the herb called marijuana were inescapable symbols of I awareness, identity, and culture. The chants against all forms of exploitation, oppression, and racism, and the rejection of European deculturization of black people within the biblical context of slaves, hewers of wood, and carriers of water, was a stepping stone to a free, liberated, and independent person.
Ras Bernard Imani Shaw of the House of Nyabingi. In other top stories, General Secretary of the Dominica Public Service Union, Thomas Later, says the trade union expects government to pay what is called a double bubble salary for all public servants by December. Police officers received their one-time payment in October with respect to outstanding salary negotiations. The monies are in relation to 2018-2019 as part of negotiations for the 2018 to 2021 triennium. Later says he has been informed that due to cash flow problems, public servants would receive the outstanding salaries on a phased basis.
Well, the government has continued to say to us that they are experiencing cash flow problem, and the bubble that was supposed to be paid, it has not been paid to all public officers because government did call us and indicated to us that they were going to pay some people first. That was last month. And this month, some will get paid, and next month, everybody else would be paid.
The PSU boss says the trade union did not object to that arrangement.
We understand, yes, if you have cash flow problem and you want to do it that way, we didn't raise any objection. From what we have been told is that by December, everybody would have been paid. Also, we would have paid to see everybody being paid at one time at the same time.
General Secretary of the Dominica Public Service Union, Thomas Leita. Prime Minister Roosevelt Kairi has proposed the formation of a committee to establish payment rates for Dominican truckers as part of a systematic approach to address their issues. He met with truckers, including members of the Tipper Truckers Association, on Thursday at the Goodwill Parish Hall. Mr. Skerritt, who's also Minister for Finance, says his government was committed to securing a fair and livable rate for truckers' services.
I believe that we should set out to determine what that rate should be. Our sitting each side down and negotiating as an independent convener is not likely to get us very far. I believe we need the services of a professional body of analysts to inform our discussions. We need to determine what is fair and reasonable, what is a fair and reasonable rate for trucking in Dominica. Given all the factors that you so aptly articulated 2 days ago, I know that there's the cost of trucks, the cost of petrol, the cost of insurance, the wear and tear on your vehicles, and the cost of labor, and the list goes on. I wish to propose that we agree to a formula whereby we not only sit with contractors and request a rate, but that we secure the services of a professional group of analysts to determine and influence the rate that is reasonable and which you should all request. When that rate is determined, that is the rate that the government shall also seek to use its influence to get contracting firms to honor and factor into their calculations.
The committee will also conduct an audit of available vehicles and capacity on island to guide the granting of permission for contracting firms to import vehicles or labor.
This data will be referenced going forward before any permission is granted for any contracting firm to import vehicles or labor into Dominica. In other words, that which can be sourced in Dominica at nationally agreed upon rates and terms must, come January 1st, be embraced and exhausted before permission is granted for the short-term importation of comparable vehicles into our country. And if such vehicles are deemed necessary for importation, then they would have to be exported on completion of a particular project or offered for sale at market rates to Dominican-owned companies and Dominican citizens. That is the broad framework I wish to place on the table for discussion this morning, in the hope that we can arrive at a formula for going forward and returning viability and profitability to the trucking sector in Dominica.
Honorable Minister for Finance and Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerritt. The Prime Minister said government will also consider a request for concessions to assist truckers with improvements to their vehicles and equipment. Acting head of the Plant Protection and Quarantine Unit, Nelson Laville, is reminding travelers of the need to get an import permit from the Livestock Department. The announcement comes particularly as the country prepares to resume ferry services between the French West Indies and St. Lucia.
You know, our ferry services are going to start over again, and we are happy that we can now welcome visitors and friends and family from the French neighbors and also St. Lucia. Notwithstanding this, we still have to be aware that there are plant health and animal health risks, and it's the mandate of Plant Protection and Quarantine Services to ensure that this risk are mitigated. Therefore, when you are doing your Christmas shopping and your one-day travels and all these beautiful things, remember to obtain your import permit from Plant Protection and Quarantine Services for all your fresh produce, your apples, your grape, your garlic, onions, Irish potatoes, and when you're doing your hams and your turkey and your zeladen and all of these different lovely things, ensure that you have an import permit from the livestock department. This is to ensure that whatever you are bringing into the country is safe from all pests and diseases.
Acting head of the Plant Protection and Quarantine Unit, Nelson Laville. Moving on to the region, where the Guyana government has announced a 7% salary increase for public servants, retroactive to January 1st this year. Senior Minister in the Office of the President with responsibility for finance, Dr. Ashni Singh, made the announcement. He noted that the government of Guyana will be paying an across-the-board increase of 7% to public servants, teachers, members of the disciplined services, constitutional office holders, as well as government pensioners. He said work will start immediately to ensure that it is processed and paid to eligible employees together with their December salary and in time for the festive Christmas season. The ruling People Progressive Party Civic Administration had promised to increase public servant salaries by 50% in its first term in office, a commitment that was recently made by President Dr. Irfan Ali and Vice President Bharat Jagdeo. Singh said that instructions were given to immediately implement the measures and that frontline workers will be receiving a special payout to be made by the end of December. Singh said that the government has set aside an estimated 400 million Guyanese dollars for a special 2021 payout to be made to frontline workers in the health sector who have continued to face extenuating circumstances in the daily discharge of their duties. And internationally, the Pan American Health Organization today launched Pahola, the world's first digital health worker to specialize in alcohol and health in an effort to help countries in the region reduce increasing rates of harmful drinking. Between 8% and 10% of the over 18 population in the Americas has an alcohol use disorder, defined as harmful use of alcohol or alcohol dependence, but about 80% of people who need treatment for AUD do not get it because services are poorly developed or unavailable. Pahola was created in collaboration with autonomous animation company Soul Machines and Paho's creative partner Rooftop. You've just heard the national, regional, and international news. Here's a recap of the headlines. Social Welfare Division, urgent need of foster care parents. DPSU expects government to settle outstanding salaries for all public servants by December. In the region, Guyana government announces salary increase for public servants. And internationally, PAHO launches digital health worker called Pahola to help risky drinkers decrease alcohol consumption. And those were the major news headlines this evening. Remember, you can catch Kairi News on the go 24 hours a day on www.kairifm.com. Also like us on Facebook at facebook.com/KairiFM, or you can follow us on Twitter at KairiFM Dominica. On behalf of the news team, I